Scared the heck out of me. You need to knock before you come in. Welcome to the Voodoo Garden. My name is Ray. I am the host of the Voodoo Garden. Have a seat. I got this. I don't know what it is about this. I feel like a druid, you know, like I should be casting a spell in a forest, making things grow. This is really unique and beautiful in a way. It's also kind of silly. I make fun of myself because I'm half blind without my glasses. Basically everything's a blur. I can see shapes, but I really can't make anything out, and I absolutely can't read without these things. So when I'm in the Voodoo Garden, I'm always wearing my glasses, of course, but for up close personal looks at flowers or to pollinate certain things, I need to use this little magnifying. You see my little magnifying glass. Well, that thing's gotten a little bit scratched up over the years. And by the way, I just had a birthday yesterday on the 17th of August, and I wanted to do a thank you to everybody. I'm going to do a special thank you on my Facebook for all the Facebook friends and stuff, but also I wanted to thank everybody out here for wishing me happy birthday and for the birthday gifts and stuff. It was incredible. It was so much fun. This is a magnifying glass on a stick, on a curved stick. It just cracked me up. For some reason, Mike calls me Mr. Magoo because I can't see it, so that's my nickname, Mr. Magoo. He got me this, and it's a magnifier. And we were joking that I was going to mention to everybody that I was going to go look at the solar eclipse with this, and that way I can get a really good close-up look. But then we figured, well, there's some people who might not be able to take a joke, and they'd yell at me for giving out bad information and possibly blinding their children. So I thought, no, I don't think I'm going to mention that. But it is cool. Isn't it beautiful? This is definitely Voodoo Garden material. Now, he didn't stop there. No. Mike has a great sense of humor, but he also put some practicality into that. What do you get the guy that can't see anything? Well, take these off. You get him magnifying glasses. These are the coolest thing. I can't see a darn thing right now. But what it is these have lights, and I don't know if you can see it, but check it out. See? Yeah, they got lights. These individually move, and oh no, I left one on. These are for me to, and by the way, the lenses on these are really powerful. They're from 10 power to 25 power. And what this enables me to do is when I'm looking up really close to look at spider mites or aphids or any other kind of thing, or pollinate very small flowers like on my Buddha belly. When I pollinate those flowers, these are going to come in handy for me. That way I can work with both hands instead of holding a magnifying glass with one hand and trying to do everything with the other hand. So that is absolutely perfect for me. Mike got them off of eBay. They're wonderful things. They have the lights and everything, so you can work all by yourself with those. And also with those, he got me these really beautiful long-handled and tweezers that are some are bent, some are straight, some are short. But he got me a whole set of these, and they have a fine point, almost like a needle point tips to them. You know how regular tweezers, sometimes it's hard to grab things because they got the flat end. Well, these ones have needle point things, so I can really get in there and manipulate the plants. So what do you get the gardener that has all the plants? You get him things that help him with the plants. So that was really fun. I had a great birthday. And setting all of this aside, I wanted to show you a couple things in the Voodoo Garden. Not just show off my birthday things, but I also got some decorations for the Voodoo Garden. And what I'm going to be doing with these plants is kind of a new series, not even a series, just an experiment. I want to do this winter because I thought about it, and folks will show me pictures of their plants that they're growing inside, and they're asking me advice on their plants. How can I get my plant to grow better? How can I get it to be thicker, fuller? It's not doing as good as it would outside. I totally understand that because the challenges of us indoor gardeners is it's really hard for us to pick and choose what we want to grow. Yeah, tropicals and stuff, they're all fun, but some of us want to grow flowers. Some of us want to grow vegetables inside. It sure would be nice to have some vegetables growing inside, especially now that it's fall. Well, close to fall. It's close enough for me. Summer's winding. You know what's weird is summer just seemed to go in the blink of an eye. I don't get it. My summer, this was the shortest summer of my life. I don't know what it is about getting older. Your years seem to get shorter and shorter until finally you're on this roller coaster down and you're wondering where all the years went. But this winter, I want to try something. I'm going to be getting seeds for the 2018 free seed giveaway, but also I'm going to be growing some things in here, or at least I'm going to attempt to grow things in here. I want to try and grow radishes. I know I've tried this before and I failed, and I don't like that. I don't like the thought of that I can't do something. Why can't I grow these in here if I try really hard? So I'm going to try to grow things like lettuce, radishes, other kinds of vegetables. I got a pepper plant growing just over to your right. I'm going to be growing peppers in here. I'm going to try to grow a tomato plant in here and get these things to grow to fruition and see if I can actually grow different things. Possibly a pumpkin, I don't know. I haven't decided what I want to grow, but I want to add that to my repertoire of things that I grow because I haven't really done much of that. And I really do want to do that. So I can grow all of these weird things, and they are colorful, they're beautiful, they're fun to grow, but I can't just shove them in my mouth. And sometimes when I'm in here, I like to snack on some of the things. So that's what's kind of fun. Some people have indoor gardens and you're looking at stuff and you're snacking. You grab a little piece of lettuce, you shove it in your mouth, a little radish, like a little baby carrot and stuff. That's kind of a fun thing. You can grow inside and you can enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I want to try that this winter. So I'm going to be turning my table over here from small plants. I'm going to move those over and reorganize everything. So it might get a little bit clustered in here. But I guess that's just how it's going to have to be. You know, I'm going to still grow my giants, a couple giants here and there, but some of the plants may have to go because I want to try other things. So I'm going to keep the best of the best, and I'm going to move some of the stuff upstairs into my regular home. So, but anyway, for example, I wanted to bring up for example out here. Let me move this one aside. This one will come next. This plant here, you haven't seen that much. This is my Dieffenbachia, or dumb cane. I thought it was called a camille, but apparently it's not. It's called something else. There's a bunch of different kinds of dumb canes. Basically what they are is a cane type plant with sections, you know, like bamboo, or a dragon tree, a dracaena. They have sections where they grow, and at each section there's these little nubs, and that's where roots will grow out. These are the masters, the best plants you can ever get for rooting into a new plant. This one started out as one of those little Walmart, little itty bitty cutesy little plants. It outgrew its pot, of course. I transplanted it, outgrew that pot. I had to transplant it again. Now what happened was it grew so tall and a little bit lanky in here. That's why I'm bringing this up. It grew a little bit lanky in here. So what I did was kind of like the pothos. I pointed over here because the pothos is over here. Remember the pothos in the last episode? I brought it down, put it in some soil, and kind of air layered it. Got some roots to growing, cut it off. Now it's an independent plant and it's doing really good. What I did with this one is it got big and it started leaning over. So I put it real deep into this large pot here. This one is actually a lot taller than it looks. It's way down here. And it leaned. So what I did was I leaned it in the pot, took off all the leaves that were going to be underground, and shoved a bunch of soil in it. Now, what that did was two different things. It grew the main plant, which is right here, but it now has about maybe 6 plants coming up, because also what happened, and might as well come on over here. You know I'm going to invite you over here anyway. I always do. Come on over here, and I want to explain, because if you're growing something, this is an idea for, because I'm trying to tell you how to grow things a little bit healthier inside, because we don't have to be limited to just outside. There are a few things that we can do to try and hedge our bets when it comes to indoor gardening, and this is one of the things. I'll go into light in a minute, but for right now, I'm going to go into soil. Check this out. Okay, let me see if I can get this with one arm. Right over here on the right, you can see the main plant. Nice thick stalk, and you can see these little teeny tiny bumps on each section. See? Now what happened is the plant is actually way over to the right and it's growing up at an angle. Now what it does is every bit of buried stem, and a lot of you might know this, but some of you may not. When you bury a stem of a plant like a Dieffenbachia, a dumb cane of any kind, or a dracaena, what will happen is it'll grow roots from that buried stem, and it makes the plant stronger as it goes. The more you bury, the stronger it gets. If I could make this pot get taller every time this plant gets taller, it would get so strong within a matter of a couple years, the trunk would probably be as big around as my arm. Now, I don't have that kind of pot, so I can't do that. Now, what happened is it grew stronger as it went over this way, and I added more and more soil. But what also happened is it started putting out new shoots along the stem, because they do like to do that when you prune them back. And this one put out a new shoot that came up here, and then as it grew, it put out a new shoot that came out here, and then a new shoot. And here's the original plant. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to bump you. And it put out, see, there's a shoot coming right out of here, out of the side of it. That's how they work. And even the new shoots will put out new shoots. And then it goes on and on and on. So this plant gets exponentially better and better as it goes. There's even another one over there. And so this can grow as one plant growing straight up, but it really does show its best when you let it grow in clusters like this, like a bush. And let me pull you off the tripod because I need to move you around a little bit. Let me show you something. Right over here. It doesn't show very well, but these plants will put out flowers. They will put out these weird fuzzy looking things, and they're really not that pretty. I recommend if you ever get flowers on these things, just snip them off. It saps the strength off of the plants, and it puts this weird pollen dust or whatever it is all over your plants. It's really not pretty. Some plants have really beautiful flowers. Some of them, well, I don't want to make them feel bad about themselves, but some of them, the beauty is in the foliage. Look at that. This really does add some nice color to your house. Now, by the way, this one has never seen outdoors. This is an indoor plant only, and it's being grown. Let me swing you up. Over here in the corner. It's growing right behind all of those plants to hide up that ugly looking door over there. And rascal. But it's growing underneath there, and there's really no light above it. The nearest light is right next to it. Now, by the way, one thing that I want to make sure that you know is this is called a dumb cane. Its nickname is called dumb cane. The reason that it has this odd name is because dumb is a word that used to be referred to people who couldn't speak. So what happens is the sap from this is a bit toxic. And what it's been known to do, from what I understand, is somewhat irritate the vocal cords and the throat. So be very careful around pets, children. Don't go shoving this plant in your mouth. Don't do it. Be very careful. Read up on plants. Ask me questions if you need information on stuff. I will do my very best to give you the very best answer I possibly can. And if I don't know, I'll look it up. But also, take some time, if you do have time, go on to Google and type out, whatever plant you're looking for and find information. If you don't find information that satisfies you or you still have questions, come ask me. But also, I do encourage people to do a little bit of research, to educate yourself before bringing a plant in. You don't want a plant that's going to kill you, kill your children, or kill your pets. Don't do that. Now, I have to tell you not to do that. I'm sorry. This one right here, this is something that I enjoyed from years and years ago when I lived up in Minnesota in the Wyndham House. This is called night blooming jasmine. Some of you may know that. Night blooming jasmine, I think there's day blooming and night blooming. This is night blooming jasmine. I grew one of these before. It was beautiful. And not so much the plant. It grew up tall and kind of lanky, and I really didn't much like that. Even though I gave it decent light, I grew it a little bit wrong. But what I did like about it is it puts out these itty bitty flowers that don't look like anything at all. You look at those and go, not so much. But the fragrance, and they bloom at night. That's why they call it night blooming jasmine, of course. At night, even just a couple flowers will put out this aroma that goes through your home, and it gives your home this I don't know how to explain it. A very pleasant, very comfortable, sweet, not too sweet, but a very beautiful, slight fragrance. And when I had this up in the voodoo garden at the other house, my bedroom was right across the hall. So I'd go to bed, I'd walk upstairs, and I'd smell the smell, and I would go right to sleep. It's like an intoxicant for me. I just loved the smell so much. I slept beautifully because the air smelled fresh and it smelled tropical. It smelled really beautiful. And I thought, you know what? And when I moved, mine died. I thought, I'm going to grow this again. I got to grow this again. And finally, I got seeds. I grew this from a seed. Yes, I did. But this one has a twin sister. And before I show you the twin sister, because something different, something really un-voodoo-ish kind of happened to its twin. And I'm going to show you that. But first, I want to give you a close-up look and show you how I grow this in order to not make the mistake I made with the last one, which grew up tall and lanky. So come on over again. I know, back and forth, back and forth. Come on over again. That will be the last time I ask you to come over here and take a look at how I grew this one, okay? In this 14-inch pot, it could grow better in a 16-inch pot, but I didn't have one at the time, so this is the best I can do. But what I did is I pruned this back. When I transplanted it, the growing top was right up here, and as soon as it grew up a little bit, I pruned it back, and it formed three. 1, 2, 3. You can see that right here. Okay? And that's what I wanted. I've grown this before. Not this plant in particular, but I've grown one of these before, and it was one tall plant. And then I pruned it back, and it forked towards the top. What happens is these things grow fast and furious, and it got so much weight on the top, the back stem didn't have enough time because they grow really fast. A night blooming jasmine plant will grow incredibly fast in your house. They're wonderful for indoors, but they don't grow really thick and strong. So a thinner stem and then all that stuff on top was causing it to go over, and I had to prop it up. I don't want plants that I have to prop up with sticks. I want plants that can stand up on their own. That shows a healthy plant. So I pruned it back to give it time to grow all of these stems and put strength into all of these. So now I won't have to hold it up. It's got multiples coming up. And I wanted to show you this because it has a twin. It has an identical twin I wanted to show you. I like this thing. Actually, it needs a little water. It's a little bit light. You want to make sure with jasmine that you do let the soil dry out. I accidentally left the soil a little bit too moist on this, and the leaves just wilted. I thought, oh crap, rookie mistake. But we all make mistakes, and it's nice to know that even as much as I've been growing plants, that I can make rookie mistakes. It means that I'm a very normal person. Now, you've seen this one. It looks pretty healthy. It's been growing inside. It's probably going to flower maybe sometime this winter, I think, or fall. I see a few little buds coming out, and that makes me happy. But this is all in line with what I'm teaching you today, or trying to teach you today, is that this one is growing nice, but look what it can do when it grows outside. Its twin decided it wanted to be free. So I took it out. I actually didn't have room for it out here. So I took it outside. So for the first time ever in a Voodoo Garden program, we're going to take a field trip. So toss on your shoes, and I'm going to meet you outside in the garden because that's where its twin is growing. Yeah. Seems kind of dark out here, doesn't it? And you know, it's not even early morning. It's because we're about to have a thunderstorm. See what I do? See what I do? What I go through to do these episodes? I come out of my comfortable little warm room out into this scary thunderstorm environment. Well, before it rains on our head, I wanted to show you this. Look at this. It's sprawling, massive. Well, for a little plant that I planted this spring, a little teeny tiny one, this is its identical twin. Yeah, they were exactly the same size, growing the exact same way. This one gets full sun all day long. Night blooming jasmines are wonderful in full sun. So if you get one and you want to grow it outside in a decent sized pot, or if you want to dig it up and take it back in, I don't even know if I could dig this one back up because I looked at the base of it. I'm going to show you a close-up of this because I want you to see the actual scope of what we're talking about here. The difference between outdoor and indoor growing. This one is doing wonderful, and it dries out during the day because these narrow raised beds aren't too awful deep and they're not very wide, so the soil dries out really well. And I've been busy with projects recently, and so sometimes I forget to water around here because there's nothing else growing in this bed, and the onions really don't need it every day. So sometimes I forget to water, and this one doesn't get water, and every now and then, like after 2 days of not watering, it'll kind of wilt. But the fact that it takes 2 days to do that tells me that the root system is going way, way down there. And that is beautiful. Now, come on over here. The gate's over here. I want to show you up close what the difference between indoor and outdoor identical twins is going to do for your plants, okay? Just to show you the benefits of bringing a plant outdoors if you have room for it. The color on this is absolutely incredible. The lighter green is the new growth. It's not unhealthy at all. It's just because it's growing so fast, the new growth comes out light green, and see, as it gets older, it turns dark green. Now I want you to look in close though. See those little things on the left, that little fuzzy looking thing? These are all flowers. And I'm going to take you in over here, because I'm holding the camera with one hand while I film. These are what the flowers look like. Little flower clusters, and they're not much to look at, but they're all over the plant. So when this thing, at night, when this thing puts out its smell, it really puts out the smell. And I can smell it clear across the yard if there's a gentle breeze. That's all it takes, is a gentle breeze. And over here in the soil, I have a mole. I've been burying his holes and flooding him out as much as I can, but I haven't been able to catch him. I feel like Elmer Fudd chasing a bunny. I cannot seem to catch that mole. Now, he's been digging in here. For some reason, he likes this bed. And so you know he's probably hitting the roots around here, but it doesn't seem to slow this plant down. Look at this down here. Way down in here. Look at the thickness of this. It actually looks more like wood, like tree, than the one inside that's all green. This is a sturdy plant, and we have hurricane force winds that blow through here when we have our storms. And so, yeah, storms in Iowa, they mean business. And this one is blooming, it's growing, it's thick as heck. And so that's what the benefits of growing outside can do for your plants as opposed to growing inside. But don't let that stop you. You can do things inside, even though you can't do it as well outside. Don't give up on your indoor gardening. It's scary outside. There's insects and everything. I gotta make sure that I don't bring any insects in here. Wasn't that fantastic? It was huge, and it's already flowered twice. 2 waves of flowers came out. I was out at the picnic table and I smelled the smell and I thought, what is that? And I thought, I know what that is. And I went over there. It was the evening after I'd fed all the goats and chickens and I was sitting out there watching the sunset. The jasmine bloomed. It was amazing. Now, I don't know if that thing's going to live throughout the winter, like I mentioned, but I'm going to give it a shot. So I hope it will. I don't think it will, but I do have its sister right here, and maybe I'll take a cutting and try and root it and try it again next year out there, because I would like to have these growing outside. Sometimes we just can't have everything that we want, outside, inside, so we have to make a choice. Some of you can grow, some of you are blessed with growing areas where you can grow this type of stuff outside and you don't think twice, banana trees. Some of us, we just don't have that luxury. So we have to make a choice. And like for indoor gardening, I try to help you with that indoor choice to try to give you the best advice I possibly can based on my screw-ups, my experience, to do the very best that we possibly can with what limited resources we have here. So I'm going to end this program and I'll let you get on with your day, but thank you for joining me here, and thank you everybody one more time. Thank you everybody for all of the wonderful things that you sent me on my birthday. I couldn't have asked for a better birthday, and I wouldn't have asked for a better birthday or a better set of friends. It was really nice, and you made my day very special, and I do appreciate that. So my heartfelt thanks. Thank you so much for everything, and I will continue to be here to help you as much as I possibly can in the future. So until the next episode, this is Ray and his little friends. We're out of here. Ain't that right? My little night blooming lovely. Solar eclipse. Oh, that's just stupid.